If you're going to work, you better be productive and market.
You know, this is one of the real pleasures you get when you serve on the national board, the Supreme Board of Governors, to be able to attend events like this. I bring greetings from our executive director, Andy Borhans. He's our CEO. I bring greetings from Supreme Master Mark Schiff from Chicago. He's an Illinois grad. He and I met in 1972 at the Memphis National Convention, where I met David Kaplan and Harold Berman for the first time. Mark couldn't be here today because he's going to be rechartering our group at Northern Illinois University tonight, and so that's what kept him away. Otherwise, he would have been here to join us. So I get the pleasure to say a few remarks and tell you about why it's a great time to be an API. Not only is it a great time to be an API if you're an undergraduate here at Texas, because you've got this great project and this great new house that we hopefully will be cutting the ribbon on this time next year, or a little earlier, I guess, before you start the fall semester. It's a great time for all of you that are alumni. Our fraternity is a member of the North America Interfraternity Conference. There's about 60 members of that conference. API is now number 9 in size. The other 8 are not Jewish fraternities. We are the largest Jewish college fraternity in this continent, and we now have a new mission to develop the future leaders of the global Jewish communities, because last June we initiated 15 young men at the Interdisciplinary Center in Herzliya, Israel, and opened our first colony in the state of Israel. If all goes well there, and it's a test program, but if all goes well, we hope to have API chapters on 4 or 5 campuses in the state of Israel. We are now on 140 campuses in North America. We have over almost 8,000 undergraduates. In the North American Interfraternity Conference, if you exclude members who have 20 chapters or less, we have the top GPA average of all of the member fraternities. We do our best to try to continue to develop the leadership at our annual conventions. The one coming up this year for me is in New Orleans. You're all welcome. And what's interesting to me about this particular event on this date is that our fraternity was formed at New York University on this very date 96 years ago. And our 100th anniversary will be at the Waldorf Astoria in New York City in 2013. So mark that on your calendar for August, and we hope to see all of you there. Thank you very much for having me out. For you guys, I can remember getting the phone call from the national office from George Toll, our executive vice president, in 1972, telling me that it was May or so. We're having this national convention on your campus. We need somebody to help finish up some of the little details. What he was looking for was a gopher, and since I was the master, I became the gopher. But through that, I had the opportunity to get introduced to the national fraternity. But for that opportunity, I don't know that I'd be standing here today. I will tell you, leave you with one story. I came to Houston in September of 1975, and I had the opportunity to go to the Jewish Community Center there, and where most of us might go, especially if we have an interest in sports. And I ran into somebody wearing these API letters who became my very first friend in Texas. He happened to be a Gamma Deuteron alumnus, Bill Rabinski. Bill and I, and we've enjoyed a lot of things with our kids growing up. His son Albert and my daughter Anita were in a play group when they were toddlers. Both of them went to school here. At that time, we didn't have our chapter here, so we lost out on Albert. We lost out on Scott when he came. We still weren't here, but we're back, and there's no doubt in my mind that when we get this structure finished, with all the hard work that Jeff, your whole committee's done, we thank you very much for all the parents who have contributed time to all of this and will continue to do. From the national fraternity, we very much appreciate it, and we know that we will continue to grow here, prosper, and there's no doubt in my mind that at the university in Texas, we're going to be the #1 fraternity. We have some partnerships in our national fraternity, as you might imagine, because we have such a large group on college campuses. Whenever anybody's looking for a Jewish group, Pi is the first stop. But we have a partnership, a very special one. We have them with a number of Jewish organizations, but in my mind, probably our closest and best partnership is with Hillel. And it's true on almost all of our campuses. In many instances, we've been able to start our chapters because of the members who belong to the Hillel on that campus.